fermented beverages would have been one of the very first ferments, and it would have been found like with the honeybees. So when the bees had their honey in their hive and it rained and it dropped down, it would have caught into little leaves at the bottom, and on the little leaves would have been like a white bloom, and that is actually like a starter. So what happened was the peeps, they picked up the leaves and they drank the honey wine, and they got very merry. So that was one of the very first ferments that have been recorded, is what we now sort of like call like a honey wine or a mead. But we're not making meads tonight, because it does contain alcohol. Now when you add alcohol to your beverages, it does make the bacteria in it pretty well inert. But it is Christmas. What I like to do is I like to cater for everybody that comes to our parties. So what I do is I do a lot of different cocktails and mocktails, but what I like to do is a lot of different bases and use a lot of different glasses, so it looks like a nice little mix, and just have bottles of liqueurs and spirits, and people can add it to them to what they want. So what I've got here is what we call like tibicus, which most people refer to as water kefir or water kefir. It's nothing related to the milk version, which that one's there sitting in my nice beautiful fresh coconut milk, but they're not related. So, but some people call it like ginger bees, because it makes a lovely ginger drink. So in your very first ferment, with beverages, we talk of first fermentation and second fermentation, but you can do just one fermentation of it. There's no need to do actual follow-up one. When you do a follow-up one, it's best to use like a dark bottle with a long, narrow neck, and have it properly sealed, and you'll get those bubbles that everybody loves. But yeah, tonight I've done some in clear bottles so that we can actually see them. That one has got blue spirulina and ginger. Ginger is really good. It gives it nice fizz without adding lots of extra sweetness. But of course you can use juices, and you can even use, we're talking Christmas, so cranberry juice is nice, or you can even use the whole cranberry, but then you will have to strain it. So here they are. They're little tiny, some of them are quite big there. They're little tiny, we call them a grain, but they're just a little culture, and they're a community of bacteria and yeast. They're wonderful little beans. Now, anybody in your local community that has these, they'll have a lot of them, so they normally love to share them, because they reproduce. They reproduce without sex, but they reproduce I like to do mine every 48 hours, and so every 2 days you've got another 50%, and you need to take them out. There's lots of things that you can do with them. If you don't have these, and you would love to get into them, because they do some wonders for your body, and you can do lots with them apart from just making beverages. You can use them to soak your dried fruit, and it will bring out that really concentrated sugar, and it plumps your fruit up. It's really good. When we get to make our Christmas cake, you'll see that this is what we use. They love minerals. You can put like a clean eggshell in there. That's very good if you're very anxious. So there's lots of things you can do. So with this first ferment, what I've put in there is a couple of slithers of ginger and a slice of lemon. That gives it a really, really nice flavour, and there's no really need to do that second fermentation. I posted a ginger beer bug, not the plant. Any of us that are my age that grew up, we would have known that everybody had the ginger plant, and that was what we would make our ginger beers for Christmas, and we'd all share plants with one another. And this will make just as beautiful one if you don't have that time to be feeding it, and this will, as I said, you'll be able to do lots with it. So what I'm doing now is I'm making a Christmas one, and I'm using coconut water. Normally I use my own green coconuts, but I didn't climb up the trees today, didn't do my monkeying. So we're just going to put in some nice organic coconut water and a little bit of ginger. So we put some little ginger that I've shredded here. Oh, I've just sliced it actually. So some ginger and a cinnamon quill. And then we'll add I didn't put a little scoop in here, excuse my fingers, little babies. Oh, in you go, in they go. And there's no need to give that a second fermentation. So we'll just put a little breathable cloth over the top and pop him away. And that's a lovely Christmas beverage. It's got your coconut water, your ginger and your cinnamon. And so in 2 days, that'll be a nice drink. And people will love it, and it's just got that beautiful taste. You can take it a little bit further and you can make mimosas for breakfast, for your Christmas breakfast. You can use that as your base, put some orange juice in there, some fresh orange juice, and a bit of champagne if you really want to make a proper mimosa. So all these drinks have all been made. What I really love, my favourite drinks are just using brines. You'll see there's lots of different flavours here. So like your pickle brine, so this is coming from like your pickles, like your cucumber pickle. You can do lots with this. You can make pickled teenies. You can have pickled shots. Just do go careful with them. You're going to have a shot of pickled juice and then a shot of what they normally have is like a shot of vodka. So, but don't overdo the pickles. And yeah, you can make a pickleback. So, and like I said, the pickled teenies instead of a martini. There's so much you can do with it, with a pickle juice. And you know, it's very, very hydrating. This goes way back in time. It's very healing. There was actually a horse trainer that used to put the pickle juice onto the horse's legs, and it would take down all the swelling. And then there's a really well-known story of one of the baseball players, how he toughened his hands up by rubbing them with pickle juice. And it's very, very good if there was a sports team that were playing a sports game that was in really high heat, and they just sipped on pickle juice and they didn't get dehydrated, where the opposite team just flunked. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with it. I love to put it into my little, when I used to do a lot of running, I'd always put it into my little bottles that I'd carry with me, but I'd dilute it with water and just put that little bit, and it puts that back, like the electrolytes back into your body. It's just pickle brine is a wonderful little, and it's great for when you're doing your cocktail and your mocktail parties. Of course, when we go to our kraut brines, you can use these as for bases to make wonderful drinks, and that's what we have in there. And it's replacing things like where you would have that little salty taste, and that's what you do. You just put that in there. Of course, your kimchi brine. Now that's just a wonder. What you can do with kimchi brine is you can make a beautiful Bloody Mary. So you can do it as just a mocktail. You can just make your own tomato juice, or you can buy a nice organic tomato juice and just mix in your kimchi brine. And that is just a lovely drink. It's just so good. Of course, the Koreans, when they go out, they'll always have a little shot of this before they go out to have their meal. So if you're going out and you're having a big Christmas party, because we're talking of the festive season here, have your little shot of brine before you go out. And the other thing is that kvass, that beetroot. Oh, my Magda, my beautiful friend, would say, Linny, don't pronounce the V. It's K-V-A. Some say S and some say double S. It's a V. It's with a W, but however, it's just magic. Now, there's 4 ways, or at least 4 ways that you can make this, and traditionally it was made with the leftover rye bread. And that's what you find in the fermentation kitchen. Anyone here who has been fermenting for a while will know that when you make anything, you use everything. You use all this, what we once would have called scraps. Everything gets a use, and that's how this all came about. But for this with the beetroot and the leftover rye bread. But this one here, this is a Christmas one, and I've got all the recipes for these in your Christmas download book, and you can follow them along. It has a beautiful the coconut kefir, the milk kefir there in an eggnog, and that's just wonderful with the coconut flavour. And because you've used those little, because I use these little fellas in my coconut milk as well. You can use the milk ones, but I prefer to use the water. And once again, they're not related, they're totally different. But I just find that it gives it a nicer flavour, and it's just got that really lovely mix when you put it in, when you mix it in with your fresh ingredients. So I was going to show you a Granita. So when you've made your water kefir or kefir, typicus, and what we've just done with the coconut water one, or when we've made the one with the ginger. You can use a base like a juice, a fresh juice, and an orange juice is really nice, just orange juice, and put that ginger, the ginger one that we've strained off, and you can put, like I like to put something like a little bit of rosemary or lavender, just put some of that fresh there, and just freeze it. And I do have and you make like a simple syrup to put through it is what really gives it a really good flavour. And then when you go to serve it, it makes a really good palate cleanser. So when you're having your big Christmas degustation dinner and you're bringing out food, you can just have little bits of it, and it looks really pretty served in a glass. And then, so when we've made all that, we had all the oranges left over. So all the oranges were left over from the orange juice. So what we've done, because it's Christmas, we've poked some little cloves into there, some whole cloves, and we've put it into a bottle. And now sometimes when you make your beverages, like especially your kombuchas and even some vinegars, all that, they just get to the stage that they get just past the tongue tasty stage. So we use everything. So what happens is we're going to make a cleaning vinegar, and you're going to have to clean for Christmas. So those oranges with the cloves, they go in there, and then you just cover it with a very well brewed something that you're not going to drink anymore, you know, that it's just gone, like I said, because you don't want to waste anything. And then you just completely cover those oranges, and they go into there. Then we don't need to seal it. We can just put like a nice little muslin cover on there, and so that it breathes, and then leave it out for a couple of weeks, and then strain it off. Now that has many uses, and those cloves on there gives it that beautiful Christmas smell when you're cleaning your house. But apart from that, it makes it very good for the shower. You can dilute it and put it into the shower and use that as a spray for your cleaning, and it'll stop the mold, because the bacteria in the products will do that anyway. It's antibacterial, it's antiviral. It makes a wonderful hand wash. You can actually just kombucha and water makes a wonderful hand wash. If it doesn't, oh, it smells beautiful. You can smell the cloves on it. It's all starting to smell like Christmas. So that's because you'll get like a lot of your. If you're not familiar with kombucha, and I'm saying all these words, and you're thinking, what's she talking about? Well, that comes. We use one of these big fellas. It looks almost like that one. Looks almost like a placenta. But anyway, it's a colony, a community, the same as the other little ones, of bacteria and yeast. So you've got many different strains there. So that again, and that feeds on like tea and sugar. And we've got all the recipes for you, and we've got some lovely recipes there for Christmas, like where you can mix in like your cranberries, keep it pretty simple, and then you can use them as bases for like your cocktails and your mocktails. So I think we've gone through all those. With your kvass, remember you can get up to like a half a cup a day and drink that. Now do drink this before you're going to your parties. Get used to your body, used to it, because this helps your liver. This is a liver cleanser. So if you are going out and you're going to really party hard, do hit this, and they do say that it's very good for hangovers as well. So you can have it the next day as well. So this is easy to make, quick to ferment, very tasty, and that's one that you'll need to get into your arsenal of goodies for the festive season. I'm sure I've missed a lot there. I didn't go through. I wanted to do my very favourite, my Vinegar Shrub. And if you're not familiar with a drinking vinegar, I have a beautiful recipe in the book, and it's very easy. It's done with ginger. And it's very tasty. I love shrubs. Shrubs are one of my loves, because you can control how much sugar you put in. You don't need to put any sugar in them at all. And then you can make drinks with them. You can use them as bases. And you know, shrub parties are really fun. They're really fun times. So I hope I've inspired you. Do download my book and go through it. Any questions, don't hesitate to ask, because we're here to help you ferment for the festive season. And we need to start now. We need to start planning and having things all ready. You know, having our cleaners ready, having our drinks ready, and just have a lovely carefree time. Thank you. Speak soon, and I'll see you next Friday, and we'll vote on what we want, because you voted on beverages today. So go with those little grains. If you don't have anyone in your local area, you can go on to somewhere like eBay, and you can get them, and you'll see people there that have been selling them for a long time. Some people do it as a business, and you'll see they've got wonderful reviews, and you know that they're selling a lot of them, and they'll pack them and send them off to you, and you'll have a lovely little drink, and it's easy to make. And that's what most of them are. You just need to remember to feed them.